Today's idiom is, by studying on the train, I achieved two things at once. This expression clearly states that you are successfully completing two different tasks or objectives with just one action. It's about maximizing your time and effort. Unlike many idioms with colorful historical backgrounds, this phrase is a straightforward descriptive statement. Its origin isn't tied to a specific ancient practice or event, but rather to the common human desire for efficiency. It simply articulates the intelligent act of combining activities to yield double benefits. Let's look at how this concept works in practice with a couple of examples. First, imagine someone saying, by reviewing my notes during my commute, I achieved two things at once, learning and saving time. Here, the action of commuting, which is usually just travel time, is cleverly combined with studying, turning idle minutes into productive learning time. The individual gains knowledge while also making their way to their destination. Another scenario is, when I listen to educational podcasts while doing chores, I achieve two things at once, getting work done and expanding my knowledge. This demonstrates how routine tasks like cleaning can be enriched by adding an intellectual activity, making mundane work more engaging and educational. Both examples highlight how careful planning allows a single effort to yield multiple benefits.
While by studying on the train, I achieved two things at once is a direct statement. There are idioms that convey a similar idea. Kill two birds with one stone is a classic, highly figurative idiom, meaning to accomplish two objectives with a single effort. It implies cleverness or efficiency. Do double duty describes a person or thing serving two purposes or functions at the same time. While our main phrase is a literal description, these alternatives offer more concise or idiomatic ways to express the idea of achieving multiple benefits from one action. To sum up, by studying on the train, I achieved two things at once effectively communicates the success of combining two tasks into one efficient action. Remember, this isn't a mysterious ancient idiom, but a clear, descriptive statement about smart time management. It encourages us to think about how we can make the most of our daily activities by stacking them. So next time you find a way to be super efficient and productive, you can confidently use this phrase to describe your clever accomplishment. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is don't bring it up again. Let sleeping dogs lie. This powerful phrase advises us to leave a difficult or unpleasant situation undisturbed because bringing it up again could cause new problems or reignite old conflicts. Its roots trace back to proverbial wisdom from the 14th century England, famously appearing in Chaucer's works. The imagery is simple yet profound. Just as you wouldn't deliberately wake a sleeping dog to avoid being bitten, you shouldn't stir up old issues that are currently at peace. It's a timeless reminder about prudence and preserving harmony. Let's look at how this idiom is used in everyday conversation. In our first example, imagine a situation where past grievances linger. Someone might say, look, I know you're still upset about what happened, but don't bring it up again. Let sleeping dogs lie. We've all moved on. Here the speaker is urging caution, emphasizing that rehashing an old issue could undo progress and create fresh tension within the group. For our second example, consider a workplace scenario. The team had a huge disagreement last year, but they've patched things up. So when the new manager asked about it, I told him, don't bring it up again. Let sleeping dogs lie. This shows how the idiom can be used to protect a fragile peace and prevent disruption by keeping sensitive past events off the table.
While don't bring it up again, let sleeping dogs lie is quite specific. We have some similar expressions. Let bygones be bygones is a gentler phrase, often implying forgiveness and a mutual agreement to forget past wrongs and move forward. It focuses more on reconciliation and release from old grievances. Bury the hatchet also means to end a quarrel or conflict and make peace, but it often suggests a more active and intentional act of making up after a dispute. Our idiom, however, puts emphasis on the potential negative consequences of revisiting a resolved or dormant issue, making it a warning against interference. To recap, don't bring it up again. Let sleeping dogs lie is a crucial idiom for understanding how to navigate social and personal peace. It's a vivid image from centuries past, reminding us that sometimes the best course of action is to leave well enough alone. Remember, if an issue is resolved or dormant, stirring it up might only lead to unnecessary trouble. So the next time an old argument threatens to resurface, you'll know exactly how to advise caution and maintain harmony. Keep practicing, and you'll master this idiom in no time. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, he finally revealed the secret to his friend. This phrase clearly describes the act of sharing confidential information that was previously kept hidden. It means to disclose something private, often after a period of hesitation or a deliberate choice to keep it quiet. While not an idiom in the traditional sense of a fixed phrase with a non-literal meaning, it captures a universal human experience. Its roots lie deep in human communication and the ancient understanding of revealing and secret-keeping stemming from Latin words like revelar and secretus. This highlights the timeless nature of sharing personal truths. Let's look at how this phrase is used in context. Our first example is, after years of speculation, the author finally revealed the secret of his next book's plot during an exclusive interview. Here, revealed the secret means the author chose to make public what was previously unknown and eagerly anticipated. This shows a deliberate act of disclosure. In our second example, struggling with the burden, she revealed the secret of her financial troubles to her parents, seeking their support. The phrase describes sharing sensitive personal information. Notice how in both cases, the secret is something personal or confidential that is intentionally disclosed. The act of revealing signifies bringing something out into the open from a state of concealment, often with significant emotional or contextual weight.
While revealed the secret directly states the act of disclosure, other expressions offer subtle variations. For instance, let the cat out of the bag implies an accidental or unintended disclosure, often of a surprise or confidential plan. It carries a sense of a secret being exposed, perhaps prematurely. In contrast, to confide in someone suggests a deliberate, trust-based sharing of personal or sensitive information, usually with the expectation of discretion. So, revealed the secret is a neutral, factual statement of disclosure, while let the cat out of the bag adds an element of accident, and confide in someone emphasizes trust and intention within a relationship. In summary, he finally revealed the secret to his friend, describes the clear and deliberate act of disclosing confidential or hidden information. Its essence lies in the transition of knowledge from private to public, often signifying a moment of trust, relief, or consequence. Though it's a straightforward phrase, understanding its components helps us appreciate the depth of communication. Remember, revealing a secret is about making a conscious choice to share something previously hidden. Keep practicing these everyday expressions to enhance your fluency and comprehension of English communication. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is look before you leap when making big decisions. It means to think carefully about potential risks and consequences before taking significant action. This wise phrase from 14th century English proverbs initially referred to literal jumping. It's folk wisdom advising prudence, reminding us to assess situations thoroughly before major choices. Let's explore examples. Before signing that big contract, remember to look before you leap. Read all the fine print. This advises caution with agreements. She decided to look before she leaped and conducted thorough market research before launching her new business. Here it emphasizes proactive preparation and wise decision-making. Always consider consequences before acting.
Similar expressions include haste makes waste, which directly warns against rushing, implying errors. Think before you act is a more straightforward directive for deliberation, while look before you leap vividly emphasizes the danger of an uncalculated move. These phrases all convey the core message of careful planning. Choose look before you leap when highlighting potential risks of hasty decisions. In summary, look before you leap is a powerful idiom, urging us to carefully consider consequences before making big decisions. Rooted in timeless folk wisdom, its message remains highly relevant today. Remember this phrase when facing important choices in your career, finances, or personal life. It's a valuable reminder to always proceed with thoughtful caution. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, she's making a mountain out of a molehill. This colorful phrase describes someone who overreacts to a small issue, turning a minor inconvenience into a major crisis. Imagine a tiny molehill and then a huge, imposing mountain. The idiom highlights this vast difference in scale. Its origin can be traced back to European proverbs from the 16th century, where the idea of exaggerating small matters was a common theme. It beautifully captures the human tendency to sometimes blow things out of proportion, making it a timeless observation about perspective. Let's see how we can use this idiom in everyday conversation. For our first example, we have, don't worry so much about one small mistake on your homework. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. Here, the idiom is used to reassure someone who is overly stressed about a minor error, suggesting their reaction is disproportionate. In our second example, the manager was furious about the printer running out of ink, really making a mountain out of a molehill over a simple office supply issue. This illustrates a situation where someone in authority is reacting excessively to a trivial problem, highlighting their lack of perspective. Both examples perfectly capture the essence of exaggerating small matters.
While making a mountain out of a molehill conveys exaggeration, to blow things out of proportion is very similar, treating something as more serious than it is, often due to intense emotional reaction. To make a fuss over nothing emphasizes creating unnecessary commotion for no real reason. The key difference is nuance. Making a mountain implies perceiving something small as huge. Blowing out of proportion focuses on distorted perception, and making a fuss highlights the visible disturbance. So, we've learned that she's making a mountain out of a molehill is a fantastic way to describe someone who exaggerates a minor issue, turning it into a much bigger deal than it needs to be. This idiom, with roots in ancient proverbs, reminds us to keep perspective and not let small inconveniences overwhelm us. The next time you see someone overreacting to a trivial matter, you'll have the perfect phrase to describe their behavior. Remember to choose your words wisely and encourage a balanced viewpoint. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, his apology was too little, too late. This phrase describes an action that is either insufficient in scope or occurs too late to make a positive difference. It emphasizes the critical importance of both timeliness and adequacy. Its origin reflects common observations about effective responses in life. Let's examine examples. The city's flood defenses were too little, too late. The damage had already been done. Here, defenses were insufficient and implemented after the flood caused harm. Second, his apology for missing the deadline was too little, too late, as the client had already canceled the project. The apology couldn't undo the client's decision. Both highlight the dual failure of inadequate effort and poor timing.
Too little, too late covers quantity and timing. A day late and $1 short also conveys lateness and insufficiency, often financially. Missed the boat highlights a lost opportunity due to delay. Use our idiom when efforts are both inadequate and untimely for a solution. To recap, his apology was too little. Too late means an action was insufficient and delayed, rendering it ineffective. It emphasizes timely and adequate responses. Use it when something genuinely fails the moment, whether an apology or a solution. It conveys the failure of belated or meager actions. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, of course it rained. Murphy's Law. It means if something can go wrong, it will, often at the worst moment. This captures that frustrating feeling when a predictable problem inevitably occurs. Originating from American engineering in the late 1940s, attributed to Edward A. Murphy Jr., it became shorthand for life's predictable mishaps. Let's see this in action. I ironed my shirt right before leaving, and of course, I spilled coffee on it. Murphy's Law. This shows frustration at an expected mishap. Or, we planned the picnic for weeks, and of course it rained. Murphy's Law. Plans are thwarted by predictably undesirable events. Both convey resigned acceptance of inevitable bad luck.
While our idiom applies Murphy's Law to an event, what can go wrong, will go wrong, is a general principle statement. For a personal feeling of misfortune, say, just my luck. Our idiom uses a specific instance to illustrate a universal principle, while just my luck focuses on individual experience. To recap, of course it rained. Murphy's Law expresses that if something can go wrong, it likely will. Originating from engineering observations, it's common shorthand for life's predictable mishaps. Using this idiom adds humor to frustrating situations. Next time things inevitably go awry, you'll know how to express universal feeling of predictable bad luck. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is the two runners were neck and neck in the race. This phrase describes competitors so closely matched that neither has a clear lead. It originates from horse racing in 19th century Britain, picturing horses running so close that their necks are literally side by side. It highlights an intense, thrilling competition. Let's explore some examples. First, the two companies are neck and neck in the race for market dominance. This shows their close business competition. Second, with only a few points separating them, the two basketball teams were neck and neck. This illustrates a tight game, outcome uncertain until the end. The idiom powerfully conveys a closely fought contest across various fields.
While neck and neck means equally matched, down to the wire implies closeness until the end. On par means the same level. Neck and neck uniquely conveys the visual intensity and immediate proximity of competitors, ideal for describing ongoing, fierce contests. In summary, neck and neck perfectly describes a truly even contest. Remember its vivid horse racing origin when you need to convey competitors are so close you can't tell who's ahead. Use it to highlight intense, thrilling competition in any scenario. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is keep training. No pain, no gain. This means significant achievement demands enduring hardship. Popularized in the 1980s American fitness culture by Jane Fonda, it became a mantra for personal development, emphasizing real results stem from persistent effort and discomfort. This idiom applies widely. For physical goals like marathon training, consistent effort and discomfort are crucial for success. Similarly, mastering a difficult academic subject demands perseverance. Embracing struggle motivates us toward desired results, as effort directly drives progress.
Other expressions convey similar messages. No guts, no glory emphasizes courage and risk for success. Hard work pays off highlights, diligence rewards. While no pain, no gain stresses discomfort as essential, these focus on bravery or the positive results of effort. In summary, keep training. No pain, no gain reminds us real progress comes from pushing through challenges. Originating in the 1980s fitness culture, it's a universal motivator for any goal. Embrace effort, understand the struggle, and achieve success in your pursuits. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, you're off the hook, they forgave you. This means you are no longer responsible for something as you have been pardoned. It likely originates from the 17th century fishing, where a fish escaping a hook is free. This imagery extended to people freed from obligations or blame. Let's see it in action. A child breaks a vase, and the parent says, "Don't worry, Mom said you're off the hook, she forgave you." The child faces no punishment. Or, after explaining a misunderstanding, Sarah told me I was off the hook and she forgave me. Both show release from blame or responsibility.
Similar is, you're let off the hook, meaning freed from obligation. You're excused is broader, meaning permission or exemption from a task. Off the hook specifically emphasizes being forgiven and released from blame for an error. To recap, you're off the hook, they forgave you, means you are no longer responsible thanks to a pardon. Like a fish escaping a hook, you are free from blame or a difficult situation. Use it to convey freedom from culpability. I'll see you next time with another great expression.